She burned the will in the fireplace, without reading it, without hesitation. Ash drifted onto the rug like snow in July. Martha Lindgren stood in the living room of her mother's old house, watching the flames devour the one document that could tear her family apart forever. Her hands didn't shake. Her heart beat steady. The rage that had simmered inside her for years had finally turned to ice, cold, sharp, and merciless. Behind her, the front door slammed. It was her brother, Richard. He was shouting something about madness, betrayal, and the law. But Martha didn't turn around. Let him yell. Let him call his lawyer. Things would be different now. It had all started a week earlier when Evelyn Lindgren died quietly in her sleep at 83. She left behind a house, modest savings, and one thick envelope addressed simply, "To my children." Martha was 62. She'd lived in this town her whole life, taught elementary school, raised 2 daughters, survived divorce, and buried her husband after his battle with cancer. Richard was 58. He'd left for California 30 years ago, built a successful life, as he loved to say, and visited their mother once every 2 or 3 years, bearing expensive perfume and empty promises. Their relationship had always been tense, but especially after their father's death. Their mother always took Richard's side, calling Martha stubborn and unforgiving. Words that cut deeper than a slap. The funeral was on a rainy Tuesday. Guests spoke in hushed tones, nodded, offered hugs. Martha held it together. She smiled, thanked people for the flowers, served coffee. But that night, after everyone had gone, she sat at the kitchen table and read the letter. Asterisk, my dearest Martha and Richard. If you're reading this, I'm already gone. Forgive me for leaving first. I knew you never got along. I knew you both believed I loved the other more. But the truth is, I loved you differently. Martha, you were my rock. You came every day. You made me soup when I was sick, read to me when I couldn't sleep. You lived for me. But I never wanted you to live for me. I wanted you to live for yourself. And instead, you shut down. You grew bitter. Richard, you left, but you wrote. You called. You came when you could. You didn't bring me soup, but you gave me hope. You'd say, "Mom, the world is big, step into it." But by then, I couldn't. So I decided, the house goes to Martha. It's hers, she cared for it like it was her own skin. The money, the savings in my account, I'm leaving to Richard. Maybe you can build something together with it. Let it be a bridge. Don't fight. Forgive each other. I beg you, don't repeat my mistakes. With all my love. Mom, asterisk. Martha read the letter 3 times. On the 4th, tears came, hot, bitter ones. She hadn't cried like this since her husband's funeral. But the next morning, Richard showed up with a lawyer. It's all official, he said, standing in the living room like he owned it. The wills filed with the notary. House to you. Money to me. Just sign the papers and don't complicate things. You didn't even ask how I was holding up, Martha said quietly. You've always held up, he replied. You're strong. I'm not. But I know how to pay bills. She nodded. Went to the kitchen. While he spoke with the lawyer, she retrieved the will from the safe, the one her mother had shown her a week before she died. Just in case. Then she walked back into the living room, lit the fireplace, and tossed the folder into the flames. Richard lunged for it, but it was too late. Fire had already swallowed the paper. You've lost your mind, he yelled. That's illegal. But it's fair, she said. The next day, Richard left without saying goodbye. He called twice, first in fury, then in desperation. Martha didn't answer. She knew, one word from her, and the war would begin. And she was tired of fighting. Instead, she began clearing out the house. Sorting through her mother's things, photo albums, old dresses, books with envelopes as bookmarks. In a dresser drawer, she found another letter, not the one she'd read, but a different one. Dated 1 month before her mother's death. At the top, in shaky script, if Richard hurts Martha again, burn the will. Her heart stopped. She unfolded the page. The handwriting trembled, but the words were clear. Asterisk, Martha, if you're reading this, Richard has ruined everything again. He'll come in, as always, full of pride and expecting praise. He won't understand all you gave me. He won't see your wrinkles as marks of my illness, but as yours. He'll just take what he wants and leave. So do this. Burn the will. Let everything go by law. Split it equally. Because I don't want my death to be the cause of your pain. I always loved you more. Forgive me for never saying it. Mom, asterisk. Martha sank to the floor and cried for the first time in years, without shame, without anger. Just tears. She hadn't known her mother saw her pain. That she understood. That she had chosen her. A week later, Martha sent Richard a letter, not an email, but real paper, sealed with a lawyer's stamp. It stated, the house would be sold. Proceeds split evenly. Attached was a copy of the letter from the dresser. And a note from her. Asterisk, you didn't know she wrote this. Neither did I. But now we both do. She wanted us to stay human. Even after she was gone. I don't forgive you for the last 30 years. But I'm willing to start over if you are too. Your sister. Martha, asterisk. His reply came 5 days later. Asterisk, I didn't know, Richard wrote. I thought you hated me. I thought Mom believed I was better. All my life, I tried to prove to you that I mattered. And you were just there. Come to California. See the ocean. I'll buy you a little house by the beach. Not out of pity, but because I have no one to share it with. Your brother. Richard, asterisk. Martha smiled for the first time in years, without bitterness. They sold the house that autumn. Martha moved to California. On the first floor of Richard's new home, they set up a small living room, with a fireplace, their mother's old armchair, and her favorite books. Some evenings, Martha read aloud. And Richard listened, just as she once had. The will was ash. But the family? It was reborn.